Hi. Hope everybody is doing well today. I just got back from the gym. Per usual, I'm trying to come up with a little schedule for myself. Um, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Um, if you go into my bio in the description, there is my link tree. There, you're going to find access to the Patreon. I really need to get into the habit of putting the Patreon link in the chat. I have to like write myself a note to remember to start doing that. That's where you're going to find all of the like dark femininity, dark manipulation, uh freestyle S work type of content. You'll find that over on the Patreon. And then I also have my spiritual channel, Queen the Mystic. Um, Depending on how I feel, I will go on there today. In most cases, I will go on there today because the subject won't take too long. So that's Queen the Mystic for the spiritual channel. And then I have a partnership with Womanizer. It's a self-pleasure brand company that I really love. They make really good toys. You can use the code AFF-Queen and you can get some money off. All right. So now that we've cleaned house, so I actually made a video about this subject not too long ago. And essentially the video was talking about how men will choose their victims and select their victims. And ironically, so I have a membership to the Medium. It's a paid membership. And essentially, it is a paid membership for you to have access to writers, and there are a decent amount of decentering men, feminist writers that are on the Medium. You pay like $5 a month, and this author, her name is Maria Casano. So if you do ever get a membership to the Medium, you could type in her name, Maria Casino, and you can like join and like get alerted whenever she like writes something. And then also you can also they have like, if you're a person that likes writing and you want to get into writing, um you can also like join the Medium to become a writer. And like a few times a year, I know they have like little virtual like guided writing and like little conferences and stuff like that in case you are interested in writing. And so I found this article that actually talked about what I made a video about. And especially now, because there's a lot of women. Have you ever like met women and like you kind of just feel like no matter what, like, okay, so like what I could say personally, I don't have a whole lot of like heavy trauma with men. I feel as though for the most part, it's just the pretty much base level stuff, like them being manipulative, and I'm not saying that that's not traumatic, but compared to how like nefarious the behavior can become, I feel as though like I've gotten pretty lucky. And this isn't victim blaming, okay? If someone comments talking about victim blaming, you're getting blocked, okay? Um it's not it's not that someone would ever make them a victim. However, just like how animals are in the wild, animals look for someone that's vulnerable. And so when men are looking to victimize a woman, they're looking for you to be vulnerable. So this is why I'm really big on like women working from the inside out. Like, yes, you can enhance your looks, you can enhance your beauty, you can go to the gym, you can do all those things, but if you look great on the outside but on the inside you're still very vulnerable, you have no confidence, you are very insecure, that's going to make you a really easy target, and that's going to make you become a person that's very easy to victimize, not only with men, but just in life. So, I'm going to read the whole article, in full. And then we could talk about it because I really think it's something really important to talk about. Okay. So if you guys want me to pull up the article, I mean, I can pull up the article on the side, but like I said before, it's paid, like it's a paid membership. So it's not like you can go in and type up the article because it's gonna prompt for you to have to pay for it anyway. But the name of the article is Studies Show That Predators Target Women Based on One Thing. And it says attackers all choose similar victims, and it wasn't what they were wearing. And I think that's very, very important because so many women get caught up in what am I wearing? How am I, like, it's how I'm dressed. And a lot of the time it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And essentially, like, what's in you, that's what people are picking up on when they're deciding on who they want to victimize and like who they want to harm. Hold on, let me try to, it's been so long since I've, and every time I get on StreamYard, they change something. Like they changed everything. They changed everything, like what I'm used to. So like I'm trying to figure out how to share the screen. Okay, give me a second. Okay, share screen. So it's this one. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay, now everything's back to normal. Like I had to come out and come back in. You guys should be able to hear me. Okay, I'm gonna read it over again, but like I'm not gonna share my screen. Can you guys still not hear me? Oh, wait. Once you guys can hear me, just put one in the chat. Okay, you guys can hear me. All right. I'm just gonna start over from the beginning. Okay, but I'm just gonna read it. I'm not gonna share the screen because technically it's like a membership and I don't really want to I don't really want to do that to the author of like this, the writer of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's exclusive, I really don't want to give her stuff out for free. So I'm going to start from the beginning and read it because I really didn't get that far. Okay, studies show that predators target women based on one thing. Attackers all chose similar victims, and it wasn't what they were wearing. I keep checking in to make sure. This week, federal attorney Adeline Diamond published a story called Should You Out Crazy Men? When Diamond was out walking her dog the other day, two men catcalled her. Their comments were sinister and guttural. Instead of ignoring it like she had so many times before, this time she felt rage. Rage that she couldn't simply enjoy her walk through the park. Rage that she was 54 years old and still dealing with this crap. Rage that we teach girls to carry their keys between their fingers instead of teaching boys to control themselves. Diamond wrote, I remember the protocol. Ignore, walk faster, wrap hands around keys in case I had to gouge someone's eyes out. The house keys eye gouging trick is something that I, like most women I know, learned when they were 16. And this fact enraged me too. That I actually know that keys are good for gouging someone's eyes out, and I have known this for 38 years. Let me see. Okay, but Diamond did not put her head down and walk faster. Instead, she snapped. She walked straight towards the men, screaming profanities and threatening to have her dog, Fish, a pit bull Rottweiler mix, rip their throats out. It seemed to work. The men were stunned, scared even. Still, Diamond wondered if, while definitely satisfying, her show of female rage was really stupid. The answer, according to scientific research, is a resounding no. In fact, out-crazing a dangerous man could save your life one day. A study reveals how predators choose their victims. I'm checking in to make sure my sound isn't going crazy or going out. About 10 years ago, the Journal of Interpersonal Violence published a study called Psychopathy and Victim Selection. Researchers interviewed 47 inmates who were incarcerated for violent crimes against women, including assault, kidnapping, unaliving, and R-wording. The researchers showed the inmates short videos of women and asked, which woman would you choose as your target? All of the inmates chose the same few women over and over again, and it had nothing to do with their size, hair color, beauty, or what they were wearing. They chose their victims based on the way these women walked. According to inmates, the women who walked as though they were anxious and insecure, which is indicative of shorter gaits, heads down, arms wrapped around themselves, or swinging awkwardly, made the best victims. The women who walked confidently and with purpose did not make good victims. Why? Because the former seemed physically and emotionally vulnerable, while the latter seemed like they'd put up a good fight. So interesting, right? This is why I'm really, really big on women having confidence. Is super, super important because people can feel your confidence. People could feel your reassurance that you have over yourself, and you make a really bad target. But let me go back to the article. It says one tactic works even better than confidence. This is important, okay? Guess what it is? Yep, rage. Now, before I get into this article, what are men always trying to throw back at women? What's the emotion that men are always trying to throw back at women and that they're always trying to demonize women for having? Oh, you're angry. Oh, you're bitter. Those are like the number one things that they're constantly trying to throw back at women. Yeah, the reason why they're going to throw it back at you and they're going to demonize is because they're fearful of your anger. They're fearful of your rage. That's why they don't want you to be that way, because they're legit scared of women when they start raging and when they start getting angry, which is why I'm always going to be an advocate for angry and raging should be a part of your emotional regulation. Now, it shouldn't be your default. Okay. It definitely should not be your default emotion to go to regulate yourself, but constantly repressing that when actually you should be cussing somebody the fuck out and screaming at somebody. Um, it's honestly worth doing. It's honestly worth doing because when you don't tap into that level of like anger, when you don't tap into that level of rage, people really think that they can play you, especially men. Men need to fear you. Okay. Point blank, period. Men need to have some type sense of fear for you. That whole cool girl. I'm not like the other girls. I'm not insecure. That's another one. That's how a lot of men get you. They try to pin the whole insecure thing on you. So, you got to pretend like nothing is bothering you, and you got to pretend like you're being nonchalant, because if you don't come off nonchalant, then, that's when they're going to start saying that you're insecure and you're not confident and yada, 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 all that stuff, right? Back to the article. So it says another study in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence found that women who hadn't taken any self-defense courses felt scared when they were attacked, which made them weaker, more vulnerable, and more susceptible to trauma. Women who were trained in self-defense, however, didn't feel scared. They felt anger, and this anger gave them the upper hand. Female rage is an extremely effective survival strategy because it doesn't seek to overpower men's bodies. Rather, it short circuits their brains. Evolutionarily, we're conditioned to fear erratic behavior, which signals danger. A leopard's sudden lunge, the hiss of a rattlesnake's tail, a tarantula's frenzy scurried. These cues shock our brains into panic mode. So when a woman goes feral on a man, he suddenly feels like the victim. The human equivalent of these animalistic warnings: yelling, cursing, lunging, flailing your arms, making sudden noises, acting generally unhinged. And then they give us another tactic that you can use. It says, and I've talked about this on live streams. I have talked about this on live stream before. The real secret weapon is what you look into every single day. The real secret weapon is what you look into every single day. It's the eyes. Your eyes. It says humans are the only primates with visible sclera, the white part of the eyes, and they're a huge factor in emotional regulation. A lot of people that are on these dating apps, if any of y'all are still on the dating apps, when you look at somebody's sclera, so the whites around their eyes, when you look at somebody's sclera, it's a very easy way to see if this person is cuckoo. Okay, if they're cuckoo, or if you're having a conversation with somebody and their sclera gets exposed. And I know for sure the Diary of a CEO had somebody on there talking about micro expressions, and she literally said that if you're talking to someone and your eyes, like the person that you're talking to, their eyes kind of like go back, like that, their eyes kind of go back, it's a sign that person is dangerous. Okay. It's a sign that you might be in danger and you need to, like, yeah. So it says scientists found that starting as young as 7 months old, babies reacted to the whites of their caretaker's eyes. If they were thin and curved, like when smiling, the babies relaxed. If they were wide and crazed, the babies panicked. Adults also react to the size of the sclera, often subconsciously. If there's anybody that watches or that is on TikTok, and if there's anybody that knows Ekane, Ekane, like, I've always pretty much followed a Kane since I had a TikTok, but like I started looking at like very, very old content, like from years ago, and more and more and more and more of her sclera, more and more and more of her sclera is like getting exposed. And if anybody follows a Kane on TikTok, she's a little crazy. Okay. She's a little crazy. You could tell that mentally something is going on up there. Okay, mentally something is going on up there. And if anyone knows her backstory with the relationship that she's in a DV relationship. That's the thing too. These things can happen over time, like through trauma. So when people will tell you, or you see someone and you're like, they don't look the same, the person looks different. I don't know what it is about the person, but like something is just different. Yeah, that it can change. It literally can change like through your lifespan, depending on like what you've done and also what you've been exposed to. Okay. But yeah, she's a creator, and like essentially she's a creator for being crazy. Like she has like over a million followers. She's like known for like being crazy. She will scream erratically, randomly, and she's got a lot of sclera, a lot of sclera exposed. That's why someone says Sampaku eyes, because Sampaku eyes, if you do like Chinese face reading, the white under the eye, essentially it can be indicative of like you having a short life, you having a life like full of like struggle, and so that can like kind of make you go a little psh, psh, psh. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. So in other words, crazy eyes is a real thing, though not in the way men typically use the phrase to shame women, and it's time we use it to our advantage. By making your eyes as wide and intense as possible, you could force your attacker's brain to register you as the threat. Last but not least, our brains are conditioned to fear unpredictability. And to a man raised in a patriarchal culture where women are supposed to be fragile and polite, nothing is as unpredictable as a wild, enraged woman. I tried finding it on my TikTok, but I couldn't find it anymore. I can't find it. There was a video of a woman walking, and she noticed that there was a man that was like following her, trying to follow her to her home. She literally lunged at him and she started screaming at the top of her lungs. Like you could tell she was angry. Like you could tell she was pissed off, and she was like, don't mess with me. Don't F with me. And she literally ran. She did. She literally like ran freaking after him, and he zoomed up out of there. He did. He zoomed up out of there. Her screaming, her yelling at the top of her lungs like that, and her lunging at him. He wasn't expecting it. He wasn't expecting it. Anything unpredictable, there's no amount of conditioning that men have for them to believe that they're stronger than you. There's no amount of conditioning for that to override evolution. And through evolution, there is no way that a man can think about how strong they are, how much stronger they are than you. They can't think about that before evolution takes over and they're like, this is unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? That's Graves' disease. That's Graves' disease, but you also have to remember that Graves' disease is usually impacted by the thyroid, and typically that's going to be seen more in women. It is. That's going to be seen more in women because, like Missy Elliott also had it too. It's typically seen in women more. So most of the time, you're not going to have to like really factor in Graves' disease as like a thing with like men. Yes. Is she the one who smelled her armpit and screamed while Diced Pineapples was playing? Yes. Yes, that's who a cane is. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Exactly. Queen, should you scream at men or walk away? I feel like they enjoy that when you crash out. The biggest thing is that you have to use discernment. Honestly, you have to use discernment. I think women want, like, you're never going to live a life where doing the same thing over and over is going to yield the same exact result. You have to use discernment. You have to use common sense. You have to use your noggin. A lot of this stuff is situational. You have to choose. It's like taking a test. If you're in anything medical, they'll ask you like a general question and all four answers will be right, but they want you to choose the best answer in that scenario. That's how you have to look at these situations with men. There's a ton of things that you could do. You could scream. You could ignore the person. If the person is already cussing you out and the person is already coming at you with that energy, in most cases, you're probably best off ignoring the person. If they already have all this pent up energy that they're taking it out on you, you're best off ignoring the person and putting yourself in a predicament where you could defend yourself. I wouldn't be turning my back to somebody who is over here cussing me out and threatening me, because that would make me vulnerable. They could pull my hair, they could pull my bag, they could attack me from behind. A lot of this stuff is common sense. Honestly, a lot of this stuff is common sense. Okay, so last but definitely not least, I already said that. Okay, so the next part, the power of women's anger. In her TED Talk, The Power of Women's Anger, writer and activist Soraya Kimley talks about how anger is considered a gendered emotion. Culturally, men are allowed to feel it and women are not. No matter how justified my anger has been throughout my life, I've always been led to understand that my anger is an exaggeration, a misrepresentation, that it will make me rude and unlikable. I learned as a girl that anger is an emotion better left entirely unvoiced. Anger is reserved as the moral property of boys and men. In actuality, anger doesn't belong to one gender. It's a human emotion that signals injustice. It tells us our bodies have been violated. It warns us of indignity, threat, insult, and harm. In my opinion, being unable to walk through a park in broad daylight without fear of getting attacked is a massive fucking indignity. Yet, according to Kimberly, while women's brains are screaming, "Are you kidding me?" our mouths often say, "I'm sorry, what?" Why do we do that? Research shows that women stifle their anger. It's not because they're afraid of violence, it's because they're afraid of judgment. And that's important. Okay? That's really, really important. You have to stop caring about appearing crazy. You have to stop caring about people not liking you. You have to stop caring about people saying that you're creating drama, you're being over exaggerate, you're doing too much. You doing too much, honestly, you doing too much, it's gonna save your life a lot of the time. Most of the time it's going to save your life. So I don't care when people are like angry black woman, yada yada yada. You want to know what? As long as it saves my life, I don't care what you call me, because guess what? A person can hurt me, words can't. Okay? Like, you gotta quit caring about words. Words are a low level form of currency. A very, very, very low. Honestly, that's why they say talk is cheap. It's not worth anything. Your life is more valuable than what people have to say about you. Okay? Your life is way more valuable than what people have to say about you. Once you get over your fear of judgment, you're not going to care. Okay? Like, honestly. Oh my God, my husband snapped since he started smoking, then seeing more sclera, and said he's getting rid of my cat to try and groom me into a subordinate now. Oh my God, if you can get up out of there, I hope you do. Girl, he gonna try to Frankie Lyman your cat. Y'all remember that scene on Why Do Fools Fall in Love? And Frankie was he was drunk and he was all drug addicted and he was going crazy and he took the damn dog and he dropped the dog. They were up in a high rise, like apartment or whatever. And he just took the dog. It was raining. He just threw the dog out. Girl, get up out of there and don't tell him that you're leaving. Okay, so the rest of this article, as I'm going to continue, it says, because women are shamed for our rage, because we're called hysterical lunatics, crazy bitches, angry black women, psycho Karens, and man-hating feminists, most of us never act on it. Instead, we fold into ourselves, hang our heads, keep walking. Put our keys between our fingers just in case we absolutely have to save ourselves. Choose defense, not offense. But when women suppress their rage, abusers benefit. They keep catcalling, keep making sexist jokes at the office, keep grabbing without consent, continue to hold the highest office in the United States government despite 28 SAs that we know of, remain immune to accountability and free to abuse more women. Please don't misunderstand me. This author said the same thing that I said. I am not blaming the victim here. In a fair world, women would never have to consider their body language before they walk through a park. We wouldn't have to clutch our keys like weapons, and we wouldn't have to teach grown men what's acceptable behavior and what's not. Yeah, real heavy on that because it's no victim blaming. It's just unfortunately we live in a patriarchy. Under a patriarchy, women are victimized by men. And so once you understand that under patriarchy, you're victimized as a woman by men, you have to protect yourself from said victimization. And what a lot of people like to do is they like to repackage that as victim blaming. Do you think that if we could live in a world and like be all willy-nilly with like what time of hour we go out, how we dress, how people will perceive us, don't you think we would be doing it? Don't you think we would be doing it a lot more often than we're doing it? Of course. The issue is that we understand that we can't freely do that because your level of danger increases when you try to do those things because we don't live in a perfect world. Okay. She says, but the suppression of our rage is hurting us one way or another. It's teaching men that their predatory behaviors are okay, or at the very least free from consequences. And it's poisoning us from the inside out with women's illnesses like autoimmune disorders, anxiety, and chronic pain. That is another thing too. I read this book by Gabor Mate. It's spelled Gabormate. That's the author. And the book is called When the Body Says No. That's what the book talks about. Okay. And he has like the 6 A's. One of the A's is anger. And he literally writes in the book, because he talks a lot about autoimmune illnesses, and he says that this is statistically proven. Women, I think it's like 80% of autoimmune illnesses, women have them. Women have 80% of autoimmune illnesses. And when he was chronicling, he had multiple people that he was asking questions. He was chronicling their life, people that had cancer, MS, all types of like autoimmune diseases. He got to the root of their trauma, and a lot of these autoimmune diseases were facilitated by them having a traumatic experience and them like not letting the person know how they felt, like really truly not letting the person know how they felt and like unleashing that anger. You know what I mean? Men will call women hysterical for just yelling and screaming, but they literally could like beat someone to the end of life, and it's just normal. It's just normalized, and that's an issue, right? So it really does harm you, especially with your health, when you try to hold that emotion of anger in, because baby, I'm gonna get angry. Okay. And the thing about it is that anger doesn't have to be expressed by just cussing somebody out. Anger doesn't have to be just expressed when you pulling up on somebody and you're throwing a brick through their window. You have to find a healthy way to unleash your anger. They have rage rooms. Okay, they have rage rooms for that. You literally can get a bat, and they be having TVs and all types of stuff in there that you can go in. You can make it a girls event, and you put on your safety goggles. They give you like a little jumpsuit, and you take a baseball bat and you beat everything up in there to shit. You beat it all up. You know what I'm saying? Um essentially you have to figure out a way in which you can get rid of your rage. It could be like a form of dance, it could be fitness, um it could be anything. Essentially nothing that's going to get you arrested. Okay. Yeah, boxing. You know what I mean? I know a ton of women that take like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, martial arts, stuff like that. You got to figure out a way that works, with you. Yeah, kickboxing is good too. Um, Okay, she says, what if we stopped keeping the peace? What if we quit apologizing for basic human emotions? What if we started honoring the rage inside of us and using it as a compass that told us when women's actions were unacceptable? What if we met harassment with shrill voices and wild eyes? This culture has conditioned us to be soft, sweet, and small, and it's turned us into prey. Maybe it's time we held a mirror up to our predators. So that's the full article. Um, I want to read like a few of the comments. So this one got like 1.1K acknowledgments, and someone wrote, rage worked for me. Early 30s, alone in a dark parking lot downtown at night, just getting ready to unlock my car when an unsavory looking type approached and reached his arm towards me. I went full on bitch, yelling at him to get the F away from me, among other things. He ran as fast as he could. Lucky for me, I'd had a bad day, so I was already primed and ready to punch someone out. Love that. Love that. Love that. Let me see what else we got. Okay, someone else wrote, it begins at home. My grandson was scary as hell. I told his mother, my daughter, you better be scarier than him or he will be in control. Then finally he pushed, physically her. She then got a plastic baseball bat. At the next outburst, she was ready. You couldn't ask for a more polite young family man with two little girls and a sweet wife. But you are right. If all women don't say, I'm out of fucks and I'll go crazy on you, they don't know their power. It don't start at the top, it starts at home. And that's really, really important. I've also talked about that. Honestly. I talked about that in like a few live streams, how essentially a lot of like the boy mom type of thing, a lot of boy moms over time, I really do think, and I feel like boy moms will never admit it, but I feel like over time, boy moms start to fear their sons because, I mean, especially me, I'm 5'1". Okay. If I had a son, by the time he's fucking 12 or 13 years old, he's going to be taller than me. He's going to be bigger than me. It would, if I were to let a son of mine do whatever he wanted until 12, 13, 14 years old, especially 14 years old, and he's towering above me, I legit would have to question. I would then have to start questioning what level of discipline I could even have towards my own son, because he physically would be able to do something to me. He physically would be able to overpower me, which is why you have to put fear in them. You have to put fear in them from the very beginning. So at least they can have a little something in their mind to at least slow down. That's not going to stop a son, a man, a boy. That's not going to stop them foolproof from being dangerous. It'll slow their asses down though. It'll make them think a little bit longer on what it is that they're going to try to do. Someone wrote, one of my finest moments was using my crazy to save myself. A man was following me to my car in a gas station parking lot. I grew up watching a lot of Jane Goodall and had a great chimpanzee impression worked up. I turned it on him, worked like a charm. I'm hollering. That's a good one. Someone also wrote, I took my first karate class at 18 when I left home for college. The instructor was very specific about when we punched, we had to yell, Kia, scream it, or there were extra push ups. It helped me speak up at work. It did. These big men, I'd look at them and think maybe I'd lose, but you'll know you were in a fight. When my daughter was ready to leave home, I gave her and my son self defense classes. And one day when we were alone, I had her practice yelling. Funny how quiet it was first few times. Nowadays, I would add threats if we were doing it. I'll bite the nose off your face. I'll Voldemort your ass. Practice yelling when you're alone. Loud. Get used to it. Be angry and loud. Curse too. Not me putting y'all on to a cane. Mhm. I had a man ask me about getting married, and I said, "Nah, men are annoying." And he clutched the fuck out of his pearls. Yeah, it wasn't the answer that he was thinking. Wasn't the answer that he was looking for, obviously. Clearly. Yeah, but if you watch a Kane's videos, just start acting like a Kane. Okay, you want some inspiration on acting crazy? Child, just act like a Kane. Go, the video is gonna pop right up. She went viral on TikTok. If you all ever heard that sound, I don't give a damn. Yeah, that's her. That's her. That's the sound. She literally was on the phone. I don't know who she on the phone with, but she was on the phone with somebody and she was screaming and she said, I don't give a damn. And then right after, she started dancing and drinking water. Yeah, it was insane. And then there was another one of her doing her hair and she had her arms up and she was doing her hair and then she went, ah! She's insane. Just start acting like her. If some man tries to like approach you or something, I feel like a cane is like such a good reference. A cane is such a good reference because yeah, she's nuts. But she's a joy to watch because she's nuts. I hate it. I hate the fact that I like watching her content, but yeah, there's a reason why she has like over 1 million followers because no one wants to present, oh, Jane Goodall. Um, no one really wants to present like that publicly. And here she is, she's doing it on a platform where the whole world could see her act like that. Too funny. But yeah, I say all that to say, always make sure always make sure that you don't like you're out here and like you're being confident. You know what I mean? Because men should be out here kind of fearing you. They shouldn't be confident approaching you. They really shouldn't feel confident approaching you, honestly. Because men rarely talk to me. Men rarely approach me. Rarely approach me. And I really do think it's because, like, I walk with my shoulders back, with my head high. I got a real strong, long gait. Um, yeah, like I walk around like I'm over here, like I own the place. That's another reason why, like, they always like to say, like, they tend to down women that are arrogant, or they tend to down women that are confident and say that they're like arrogant. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know what? The reason, of course, why you're saying that is because that doesn't benefit you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't benefit a man for you to be like that because they can't take advantage of it. Every single thing that men say that they dislike about women are all the things that would be a disadvantage to them. That's why they don't like those things. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't exactly walk like you're on the runway. That's the perfect way to think. That's the perfect way to think. Walk like you're on the runway, like you got someplace to go. Because they're opportunists by default. Wish I had a death note. It's the truth. It's the truth. They're in survival mode. Most men are in mode. Most of them are in survival mode. They have to choose, they have to take everything by opportunity. They have to take everything by opportunity with a little bit of chance and then make it work. That's how most of them are wired. And like I said before, like, use discernment, okay? Please don't sit here and think like I got to scream at every single man that I talk to. Like, no, like, have some common sense, you know what I mean? Have some common sense based on, what situation that, I mean, that you're in. You know what I mean? Slow down and be aware. Read the room of the type of man that is, approaching you, and then go from there. Obviously, you can't be screaming and cussing out everybody. But my biggest advice is that if they're crazy first, if they're crazy before you're crazy, all right, if they're crazy before you're crazy, then you got to start defending yourself. If they're just bothering you, you got to be crazy first. They might be future clients of my company. But yeah, if they're crazy first, if a man is crazy first, you need to be in defense mode. You need to get ready to defend yourself. You need to get ready to, it's attack time. Okay? It's attack time. If they're bothering you, be crazy first. I feel like that should be I feel like that should be somewhat foolproof if you're in a pinch. Because I know y'all want me to explain like every single thing, but I can't because it's all going to be situational and not one. There's no set response. And they so weird and pervy. Some of them like a crazy bee. I know. I started carrying pepper spray. Wish I can get a taser. I have a firearm, I have pepper spray, and I have a taser. I'm not playing with these I'm not playing with these men. I'm not. Mm-mm. I'm not playing with these men. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Get you stuff to protect you. Um At one point, I had a knife too. But I didn't realize that I had it in my I didn't realize that when I went to the airport, because it's a real small, it's a real small knife. And I got it in New York. In New York, they won't let you purchase like switchblade knives, one that you could just whip out. So it was like one of these knives that it was real little, and then it's like a little pinch thing to open it up. It's so little. And I didn't realize I had it in my purse, and then I obviously went through security and they had to freaking take it. Um so I actually had a knife too at one point. I don't be playing, and you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. Mhm. I got a cane with a compartment for a sword. Oh, that's nice. Gun, box cutter, mace. I'm super strapped. Yep. Yep, rat tail combs. Um, I heard one girl, she said that this is if you live in a city. This is usually like major cities, because major cities tend to have real firm like firearm laws, knife laws. Um, Even with pepper spray, tasers, stuff like that. Um, because I lived in New York City, it's real hard to carry a lot of stuff around there. You can, there was a girl and she had actually a really good advice. She said that you can get one of those little hammers. They have these little hammers that you can get on Amazon. Chow, she said that she bought a little baby hammer, and then she said that she got like some pantyhose. She got a couple pairs of pantyhose. She dropped the hammer in the pantyhose and wrapped it up in there, and she says she keeps it in her bag. So, and that's good too because you get distance. You know, with some long pantyhose, you get a decent amount of distance from your attacker too, so they don't have to come real close to you before you can defend yourself against somebody. Yep. I wear long nails for a reason too. I'm digging right in them. Yeah, and don't forget you got teeth. You don't forget you got teeth too. You got teeth, you got fingers, and you got legs to kick. Kick them right in between the legs, get them down to their knees, kick them in the face while they down. Mhm. Yeah, it's frustrating. It is. It's frustrating, honestly. It's so dangerous. It is. It's so dangerous, and they're allowed to be dangerous. They are. They're allowed to be dangerous. I'm doing what's ever necessary in the moment. It's very easy to sit here. It's real easy for me to say like, oh yeah, this is what I will and what I will not do. Child, I can't say what I will and not do because I'm not in the predicament. So I couldn't even say that because I don't know what predicament I don't know what predicament I would be in if I was fully bound and my arms are bound and my legs are bound. Um, you might have to bite somebody if they got you bound. All you have is your teeth if you're bound up. As a former gay man, now asexual, I know how dangerous men are. I'm telling you. And it's crazy because on my TikTok, more and more gay men are like calling men out and they're talking about their experiences with men. And even they're saying that they're having a terrible experience with men. You know it's bad when men are dating men, and even they are like, y'all are horrible. Y'all are horrible. Put a lock in the sock. You are at the gym. Yep. Yep. I know if it's your boyfriend or ex, maybe you kind of know them, but not randoms. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Melissa, you said you got injured taking a self-defense class. That's crazy. I had seen the comment I had seen the comment earlier. I didn't read it through all the way. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking on YouTube right now, and there's definitely some like there's like self-defense tutorials too. So you could check those out too. Oh yeah, there's a YouTube channel called Active Self Protection. That channel is really, really good. They post real life situations that were caught on camera where people were attacked, and they like break down how the person defended themselves and like what they could have done. I wish I remembered which video years ago, since there was one where you can grab their wrist when they pull your hair. It's so sick. It's like a thumb grab. So if like an attacker tries to grab you, or if they like try to pull your hair, you want to push up against their thumb, because their thumb is weaker. It will loosen their grip. Queen, have you thought about authoring a book, either page flipping or audiobook? I definitely have like thought about I definitely plan in the future to write a book. I do. I agree, we need to be united. We do. We need to be united, cuz I'm not fighting no woman. I ain't fighting no woman. I've had a handful of women try to fight me, and I did have one or maybe like two girls like fight me in my whole entire life I got into a fight with, but chow. Have you ever considered becoming a life coach? It's also something that I've considered. It's so many things that I've considered. Um, I've lived so many lives in this short amount of time. I've been needing to slow down because I've lived so many lifetimes already. I'm like, dang, before I know it, I'm gonna have like a laundry list of like all of the things, all of the titles. But yeah, always push against their thumb. It's weaker. It is. It's weaker. Push up against the thumb. And usually a lot of the time, like I definitely have been able to avert some attacks before. Like I'll never forget, there was one time I had left. It was my first job out of college. I was working. I come out of the hospital. I'm working in the city. I walk out the door and I see this man, and he just was like, he had those piercing eyes staring at me. So I stared right back at him. I stared right the fuck back at him, and he ended up walking away. Like obviously I can see what you're trying to do. I had like my cute little I had my Louis Vuitton bag. He seen me come out of the hospital. I'm only 5'1" small. I would make a great victim, a great target. Child, I stared his ass down. You're not about to stare me into submission and try to rob me. No, sir. The way they did it is if they're more on the side, you bring your hand under and over, essentially making them fall. There's quite a few videos and news reports when men try to attack women and like they have martial arts training and like they're able to get away from their attacker. This is a reason why, like, in my opinion, it's kind of good that men believe that. I mean, it's not a belief, it technically is true. However, it's kind of a good idea that men have in their brain that they can overpower any woman because they're physically stronger. Um, because the thing about it is that strength is not ever going to be able to overcome strategy in like tactical training. I used to do consultations. It's just been a long time since I've done them because the consultations are hard. Okay. This is like why I thought about being a life coach, but I've also questioned being a life coach because it can be really hard. Um, it's kind of hard. And the thing about it was that I was doing it while I was working my 9 to 5. So now that I don't have to worry about my 9 to 5, maybe I'll have more mental juice to give to be able to open up the consultations because people have emailed me and asked me. I'm just not sure yet if and when, if I decide to, when I'll make them available. Still thinking about that. We haven't worked on any of the showcase stuff yet because it's not even until November. I have like one more week of freedom. I have one more week of freedom, and then we're going to start working on the choreography. And I did wear my shoes yesterday, and they're my favorite shoes so far. I actually really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed dancing in them. So if they're wearing a backpack, you yank the heck out of the top hook of the backpack, they will fall down. Trust me, I've done it, and I'm 125 pounds. Girl, I do that, and I kick them in the back of the knee. I kick them right in the back of the knee. That's another good thing. Honestly, I'm really thinking about making an Instagram, but the Instagram is just all going to be pole dancing content. I'm really, really, really thinking about it. I had one following me too. We had a meter distance foggy night, nobody else there, turned around like a fucking Western standoff. Eventually he turned around and left too. Scary. Oh, I know. You be looking and then it's like, oh my God, you be afraid to go to sleep. Single income, no kids. Nice. It's like Dink, but single. That's good. That's good. Yes. I'm telling you, because it really is, being single and child free is a huge flex. No diss to anyone that's married, no diss to anybody that has children. Um, it's just the world gives you so much shit to have to think about. Like, that's the thing. Like, I would have no problem being a mother if I didn't have to worry about bills, if I didn't have to worry about safety, if I didn't have to worry about expenses. Like, if I just lived in a world where I could just live, I could just grow me some fruit, grow me some vegetable, have me a little stream of water I could get my water from, have me a cute little hut to live in, and I'm just chilling with the girls or whatever, got my bosom exposed. Then yeah, I wouldn't give a damn about having children. I'd be cool having children because that would be the only thing I would really have to worry about. And like, obviously like some predators, is adding in the fact that men would be doing their own thing too. It's too many things to have to worry about. It's too many things to have to worry about for me to want to add a husband or even a wife And children to the mix, no, it's too many things. I would love to see the pole dancing. I used to have a pole at home to practice and want to do that again. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm real close. What makes for a great shoe versus a good shoe for dancing? It really depends. So many people, they have so many different shoe brands now. When I was dancing in the club 8 years ago, all we had was pleasers. That's all we had. We had nothing else to compare it to. Now they have pleasers, hella heels, show ponies, jewel. I have a I have a shoe for like everything, honestly. Pleasers are good, they're sturdy. It's just the plastic is hard. Just the plastic is very, very hard. It's the only thing I don't like about them, but your foot gonna be secure. Your foot gonna be secure. Um, Hella heels, if you like boots, they have padding. So if you do floor work, because like it just isn't the most sightly when you have on like your sandaled heels and then you have on your knee pads because you're doing floor work choreo. So I do like hella heels for their boots because the tongue is padded. So it just looks cleaner. You can have a good transition between doing floor work and getting on the pole. On the pole. I was reading Peak Pony. Um you have a good transition with the boots, and they have really nice prints too. Like they have really, really nice prints. Like they have like leopard print shoes and like Mary Jane print shoes if you're into that. Like they have a lot of cool like styles of shoes. And then the show ponies are cool. Um they're good if you have a narrow feet, but the jewel shoes that I got yesterday, oh my god, those are my favorite so far. The jewel shoes are really nice. They're made for edge work. I like edge work a lot. I like edge work a lot. I really like to utilize my platform and my heel of the shoe when I dance. So the slope of the shoe in the front is a little bit more steep. That way you're on the ball of your foot. That way you can like do more edge work. Cause like to me, edge work is beautiful. And I just love the sound that the heels make on the floor. Y'all should see my stripper sim. So damn cute. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Oh, and someone asked, I the number one easiest way for me to answer somebody's question is if you do it in a super chat, honestly, because I be going on a tangent, honestly. Um, my scoliosis, y'all, my back, when I tell y'all, I feel so good. Honestly, I feel so good. All of this stuff that I'm doing for my back, for my scoliosis, it's yeah. I'm moving better. My energy is higher. No pain. My flexibility is back and improving. My mobility is improving. I'm happy. Um Over time, yeah, that's pretty much been my experience. That's kind of why like I just cut the relationship short once disrespect starts to happen, because once you stay in a relationship and someone starts once you're in a relationship and someone starts disrespecting you and you stay in the relationship, I mean, you're consenting to them to keep disrespecting you. It's really that simple. Really, really that simple. And it's not worth sticking around hoping that somebody can change. I went to a chiropractor. I go to a chiropractor, but I go to like a special chiropractor. He wouldn't even touch me until I got x-rays done. Um, you need to go to somebody that specializes in scoliosis. How many pull-ups I have to do before I get on the pole? Zero. Zero. Because everything that you do, you can do it from the floor. Men are not ATMs and women are not housekeepers. Yeah, all of the pole stuff, you can do everything from the floor to start. And everything that you do from the floor is it requires you to kind of like hold your body weight up. So any specific technique that he uses, not that I know of, whatever his chiropractic school taught him, it's going to be unique to you. Like that's why I say you have to get someone that specializes, because scoliosis isn't the same for everyone. And then you also have to think like if you have other issues going on in your spine outside of scoliosis, like that would also have to be addressed. Because I didn't just have scoliosis, I had other issues with my spine. So you have to go to somebody that specializes. So that way they give you a tailor-made plan. Nothing cookie cutter. Exactly. Because marriage ain't gonna save you either. Doing all of the child stuff, doing all the children stuff, it ain't gonna make a difference. I'm hollering. I'm hollering. And thanks to all the people that just joined the Patreon. Um, I really appreciate you all for joining the Patreon. I'm really trying to be more active on there again because I have the free time to do it. Um, I have more time to be on there and like make more content. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can't sing. I can sing. I'm a medium singer, but I have to move my body. I do. I got to move my body. I get the zoomies too easily to just be singing. I do. I get the zoomies way too easily to be not moving. That's another thing that I've been enjoying about pole dancing too. You actually can release a lot of rage while you're dancing. They like have that as a style of dance. They call it hard style. Hard style dance is like it's very aggressive, very punchy. Like it says it in the name, hard style. So I really like that form of dance. It's a really good way for you to get like a lot of anger out. Queen, you fit. I see those nice arms. You can headlock someone, can't you? Probably. Probably. Ain't no man let me do it though. Ain't no man let me try on him or practice on him. Um, yeah. Ain't no man let me practice on him. Like men, I've had men ask to arm wrestle me. My there was this guy that I used to be friends with. He asked me to give him a piggyback ride. Dang, that is high. That's super high. Chow, I would never, if I were to become a life coach, dating would have nothing to do with it. Dating would really have nothing to do with it. Like my life coaching would really be rooted in reality. My life coaching would be rooted so deeply in reality. By the time we unpack somebody's life, dating will be the last thing the person would be thinking about. Because a big part of like life coaching, you're supposed to unpack the life you've already lived before you start focusing on the life you have now. You got to unpack the life you've already lived. Either or, it just depends. You need to look into both of them. You need to look into both professions to see. Go, I highly recommend somebody go shadow. You go shadow, you go with a stenographer for a day. You go with an x-ray tech for a day and see. That's the best way for you to know. Yeah, child, I'm not giving nobody no dating advice. All my dating advice is just gonna be dump him or her. Dump him or her. That's gonna be the advice. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit tired. I am. I'm a little bit tired. I think what I'm okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, let me look. Because I try to have these live streams go on for like 2 hours, but then again, so what I'm gonna do, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit tired. I'm gonna stay on here. So I'm not gonna live stream on here tomorrow. I'm gonna live stream on the Mystic channel tomorrow and not live stream on the Mystic channel today. Because I'm trying to think of the 2 days that I want to stream on the other channel. And so I think it might be Wednesday and Friday. Because sometimes I do two back to back, but I know I don't have the energy to do two back to back. I don't think I have the energy to do two back to back. I mean, I could take a break in between. It's still really early. It is. It's still really early. What? What? But yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna stream on here tomorrow. We're gonna stream on the Mystic channel tomorrow. We are. We're gonna stream on the Mystic channel tomorrow. It's just gonna be only thing is that it'll have to be earlier in the afternoon. It won't be until I can't stream on there until a little bit later in the afternoon tomorrow. I'm getting my hair braided. Getting my hair braided down tomorrow. I'm gonna be wigging out again, wearing my wigs because this hair, like, don't get me wrong, I love my hair, but like the amount of product that I have to use in my hair for it to like keep the curls looking fresh, my hair, like, it's growing super long, it's growing super thick, it just won't stop growing, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I have to use more shampoo, I have to keep buying more shampoo, I have to keep buying more conditioner, I have to keep buying more styling products. I'm like, all right, I'm getting tired of this. I just want to put my hair away. I just want to put my hair away and not think about that. Yeah, so I'll go. I promise. I'm gonna go on the spiritual channel tomorrow because I already have what I'm gonna talk about. I already have like the outline and the talking points of what I'm gonna talk about. Just come to LA. I got you on the braid job, girl. You're on the other side of the coast. You on the other side of the coast. It's gonna be glue. Yeah, usually I do glueless. I might throw a little bit. I might throw a little bit of some like lace melting spray on there. Nothing crazy, but I just do the glueless. Coconut oil freaking gives me seborrheic dermatitis. My scalp doesn't like coconut oil. My scalp is real sensitive. Botana oil, botana oil, my scalp likes. It's the chiro. It's what I mean. Literally, it's what a chiropractor does. Like a chiropractor, that's what they do. They crack you, right? But like I said, you have to go to a specialist because if you have scoliosis, like you just can't go in and they crack you. Like they could be cracking you into fucking your back up more. Ooh, Nashville would be cool. When I get when I get a bit bigger as like a content creator, I definitely will do a meet and greet. But I have like a personal goal for myself for like subscribers where I would want to do a meet and greet and like get together. Yes, being natural is fucking expensive. Being natural is expensive as hell. I don't give a fuck what these black men got to say. I don't give a fuck what these black men got to say. I'm going to wear my wigs. I'm going to braid my hair and I'm going to have somebody else's hair on my head. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. And speaking of, someone actually proved my point on a post yesterday. So there was a white woman. She was advertising a wig, a lace wig. She's advertising a full lace wig that she had on. And so someone in the comments wrote, I don't see a ton of black men in here. She said, I don't see any black men in the comments talking about how she's not wearing her natural hair. So then people were responding to her comment, and then somebody in the comment wrote, and I talked about this on the live stream, and they proved my point. Someone in the comments wrote, I don't know who it was. I'm going to assume it was a black man. Someone in the comments wrote, at least it's the same texture. And I've said it on a live stream before. Men that care about you wearing wigs, I can say that with 99.9% accuracy, any man that's complaining about you wearing wigs, they're a texturist. They're a texturist. They're a texturist. It's really that simple. It has nothing to do with the fucking wig, because women that have that texture, they have a finer texture hair, they're wearing K-tips, they're wearing tape-ins, they're wearing clip-ins. They're literally adding shit to their own hair. It's just the texture matches. Naturally. It's all about texture. That's really what it is. It's just a sign that they're a texturist. And I've literally got it from as someone that wears her natural hair, I literally get comments, and it's like, when I wear a wig, they'll talk shit about me wearing a wig. When I don't wear a wig, they'll say that my hair isn't long enough. They want a woman's hair that's like going down her back. And it's like, I'm not going to straighten my hair. I'm not going to straighten my goddamn hair so that way I can like be like a preference to you or whatever. Because my hair is fucking long. When it's straightened, I'm not going to heat damage. I'm not going to heat damage my hair for you to fucking like me. Fuck you. Fuck you. No one's talking about how they have 4C hair and they trim it down. They trim it down super freaking low so that way the whole world can't see that they have 4C hair. And then when they do grow it out, they put a ton of product in their hair and they cut off their fucking blood supply to their brain. They cut off their blood supply to their brain so that way they only got 3 brain cells left. So that way the hair that they grew out can be all flat and they can get them waves. What are waves? Waves are you trying to fucking hide the fact that you have 4C hair. They're over here talking about women wearing wigs. You over here with your brush. Can't let these people see my 4C hair. Over here brushing to your goddamn skull. Over here brushing to your goddamn skull because you don't want people to see that you have 4C hair. But over here trying to talk shit about women wearing wigs. Get out of here. Thank you. Like, get out of here. And I've had men do the same thing to me. That's the reason why I don't when I was dealing with men, a lot of the time I didn't want to deal with I didn't want to deal with unambiguous black men. I didn't want to deal with like dark skinned men because they actually were like, oh my God, like I love how curly your hair is. Like I like the texture of your hair. And when I used to straighten my hair, they would be like, oh my God, that's all your real hair. And da da da. I'm like, okay, this ain't it. Like, I'm not trying to, no, mm-mm. You fixating over things to get you further away from the things that you possess. I don't want to, mm-mm. They can't even hold a candle to us. That's why when people say black love, I be quiet. When they be like black love, I be like, oh no. Oh no. You over here wearing wigs. Okay, why isn't your hair in an afro, sir? If we're talking about natural, how come you're not wearing your hair in an afro? You get the line up once a week. You get all that black. You get all that black filling in that beard. They be lining up yourself with that white chalk. With that white chalk, the highlighter, you got highlighter and contour. You ever try to offer a black man, you ever try to offer to brush his hair, his 4C hair with his waves? You brushing the wrong way. You brushing the wrong way. You go mess up my waves. They go see I got 4C hair. Stop. You ever went shopping with a black man to go get him a brush for his waves? No, 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 that can't be. That's the that's the wrong brush. That's the wrong brush. The bristles, I gotta have these specific type of bristles. Those other bristles, it's not gonna get it. Like, trust me, trust me. When you dealt with them, when you dealt with men like that, black men like that, it makes so much sense why they're obsessed with women wearing wigs. It's like, sir, you're not obsessed with your do-rag. I gotta wear my do-rag for 8 hours. If I don't wear my do-rag for 8 hours, I'm not gonna have them waves. Yeah, the very same waves that you're using to hide the fact that you have 4C hair. Exactly. Like, no. Like, I'm sorry. And I'm gonna call them out on that shit every single time. I'm gonna call them out on that shit every single time. Like, no. Yes, they carry their thank you. They legit carry their brush around with them. I don't got shit. They over here freaking out because they waves are turning into ripples. Like, my waves are gone. I got ripples in my hair now. I got to start all over. I got to start all over. My ocean waves done turned into a lake. I gotta go on ahead and start all over and get my blue magic and this and that and get all these hair products that has all these fucked up ingredients in there so I can hide the fact that I got 4C hair. Yeah, I can't stand that. Men that have a brush on them and they're over here brushing their hair while they're walking, it gives dusty. That is dusty behavior. That is dusty behavior. Women don't even do that. Women go in the bathroom. Women have a, you won't even know that a woman is carrying, you won't even know a woman has a brush on her. You won't even know that information because women go to the bathroom and they will brush their hair. Ain't no woman walking around brushing their hair while they're multitasking, doing something else. Like any man brushing his hair like that is giving dusty. I'm about to dive in. I'm hollering. I am tickled. Back in middle school days, guys be carrying that brush with them, brushing every 5 minutes. Girl, every 5 minutes, they over here panicking. They over here panicking. They about to lose their ways. If you have to be that obsessed, you have to be that obsessed with fucking brushing your hair, keeping a do-rag on your head for fucking 8 hours, cutting off your brain circulation, waking up in the goddamn morning with an indentation across your forehead. Obviously you're trying to change the texture of your hair. So in the brush be having all types of lint and shit in it. Lint in all of their product, their backed up product with the lint dusties all up in the brush. It's like, please, you doing all that, you best believe I'm gonna wear my wigs, I'm gonna wear my weaves, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do with my hair. Just for me. That's the only thing. I have been thinking about doing like self defense or maybe like Brazilian jiu jitsu and things like that. But then I think to myself and I'm like, I have to do it with men and that's going to ruin the experience. Like, because I definitely have been thinking that, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to be around men. I don't want to be around men. I low key would like you to do sheer like shenanigans, like cosplay as a Dusty one time. Oh my god, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. That would be hilarious. Cause yeah, when Shira played Earl, that was hilarious. When she was Earl, he was a passport bro. Yeah. Even if I want to wear a lace front over my coochie hairs, then I'm gonna do that. Exactly. Exactly. It's like, psh, I'm not gonna sit here and try to create this landing strip. I'm gonna shave this shit down and I'm gonna fucking put me a landing strip down. I'm gonna glue me a landing strip down on that shit. Not gonna sit here and shave and get waxed and do all this intricate shit. I'm getting me a damn coochie uh a coochie front, a coochie lace front. 'Yeah, get you a unit. Get you a unit. We got the landing strip. We got the Bermuda Triangle. We got the 70s corn star. We got the Bush woman. We got the salt and pepper. We got whatever you want. A 27 piece. Exactly. Exactly. Cooch wigs are called merkins. No lie. I didn't even know that was a name. I didn't even know that it had a name. That's crazy. Chow. They be having naps. They be having naps on their pubes and on their chest. If a man wanna if a man say if a man starts talking shit about your weave and whatever like that, be like, okay, pull your shirt up, sir. Pull your shirt up, sir. Let's see if you got taco meat. Let's see if you got taco meat on your chest, sir. Pull that shirt up for me. Like, sir, you got a chest full of beady beads. You got a chest full of naps. Like, why are we what audacity you have talking about someone wearing a wig or a weave? Your fucking chest needs a relaxer. Whole chest needs a relaxer, and you're over here talking about you're over here talking about some dang wig and weave. I just box braided my own hair. Only took me 2 hours. Dang. Either you're 2 hours, there's no way. There's no way. If in order for me to do box braids for them to take 2 hours, child, I'd have to do 8 boxes. I could only do 8 boxes. Yes, it's the damn bristle boar brush. Like, I had an ex, and of course, the ex was he was unambiguous. He was unambiguous. Oh, was it 2 hours or 2 days? Yeah, it would take me, child. It would take me forever. It would take me forever. But the ex that I had, he was an unambiguous black man. He was dark skinned. When I tell you, and like no, that was another thing too. Um, I had like never I grew up in a white neighborhood, okay? So I didn't really know much about black men's hair care. I had no idea. And he was like, "Yeah, like I have to put this in my hair and then I have to like sleep with my do-rag." And then he was telling me like, "Yeah, you got to do it in this direction." Like he was giving me the whole like 411 on like how intricate this whole thing was with his hair, and I was like, "Damn. Damn." I literally like sometimes I go back and forth and I'm like, dude, I would love sister locks. But do you know how long sister locks would fucking take? Oh my God. It would take 40 days and 40 nights for me to have sister locks. It would take so long. I don't even think somebody would want to do them. That shit would cost like $3,000 to do. It would take so long. Because when I would get braids, oh, it would take like 8 hours. And then I'd have to take it all down. It just, my arms would start hurting. I'm like, ooh, I'm fatigued. My arms are fatigued. My arms are fatigued. My arms really are fatigued though. They're sore because I was training my shoulders yesterday. Come on, get in focus. Yeah. Get in focus. But yeah, because I did some shoulders. I've been doing some cross training too. I've been doing some cross training because that should translate over to the pole. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, when y'all see me tomorrow, my hair gonna be flowing. It ain't gonna be my hair, it's gonna be somebody else's hair, but you can try two strand twists and make them smaller by unraveling. That's a good idea. That's smart. That's smart. The gun show, they're really going to be popping out as I keep losing weight because I'm losing weight so slow, but I'm doing it on purpose with my output, with my physical output, and then also with my caloric intake. I'm only on a rate, I'm purposely on a rate of only losing a half a pound a week because I want to keep my muscle. I want to keep my muscle. I want to keep the booty plump. So I'm going to lose it really, really slow because also I have a history of binge eating disorder, and I can't keep doing that shit when I'm losing weight fast, and I'm losing it so fast I can't maintain how I lost the weight to begin with. Like, nah, nope. I'm losing it nice and slow. That's what I did, and everyone thought I had sister locks. And it sounds pretty. I prefer to braid my own hair because I soak the hair in apple cider vinegar, then I wash and condition it. That way my scalp doesn't break out. Smart. Because them braids, whoo child, my scalp breaks out a lot. It's the product that they put in, it's that synthetic hair. It's all bad. It's all bad for me. All bad. My scalp is super reactive. You know what? Honestly, she's been popping up. She's been popping up on my TikTok timeline whenever she does a live stream, and like I'm really big on people's eyes. I'm really big on people's eyes, and like compared to when I first started watching her content, compared to when I first started watching Priscilla's content over a year ago and looking at how she looked and then looking at how she looks now, you could just tell the life is like gone in her eyes. Like you could tell the life is completely gone in her eyes. Ooh, that would be nice. That would be nice. Imagine getting paid to work out. I mean, technically you can if you're like a fitness instructor or like something like that, obviously. Um, but yeah, that's the only thing. I just kind of feel like Princella, I don't know. I feel like the life in her eyes is just gone. When I watch her on the live stream, I'm like, I don't know. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't get it often. I get it more so on TikTok because TikTok is so they push you out a lot more globally than they do here on YouTube, in my opinion. They push you out a lot more globally. So obviously, it's a higher level of polarizing opinions on TikTok than it is on YouTube. Um, but on TikTok, it's like sometimes the way women come at you, sometimes the way that the women come at you is just, it can be frustrating because I make the content coming from a good place trying to help the women, and you will get women who, like, they'll just be nasty. They'll be nasty because they're hearing somebody tell them, like, you have your own life and you know, you should prioritize your own life instead of, like, really, really caring a whole lot about all this other stuff in regards to men. And they get pissed. They get pissed and they get, like, real disrespectful. And it's like, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but the thing about it is that a lot of the choices that the women are making, it's not being reflective positively with the position that they're holding, which is why it's being talked about. Like, if women were complaining on the internet about their relationship issues, their marriage issues, their children issues, it would be different. But it's like a lot of people are complaining about that. So I think it's a combination of the fact that, like, constantly having to, like, get the stuff from women when you're trying to help them, that can definitely, like, be a factor into it too. Um, but then also, like, she ended up completely switching teams. And one thing I think that's, like, important is, like, women aren't women can't be the facilitators when you get sick of men. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you have a group of friends and you have a boyfriend and you choose your boyfriend over your friends, and then when your boyfriend fucks up, the first people you want to run back to are your friends. I kind of feel as though, because I've always liked men and I've always liked women, I've always been attracted to both of them. But I feel as though, like, okay, going as far as to get married, going as far as to have children, like, you really, really, really like men. Like, you liked them enough to be able to go that far with them. And so sometimes what happens is that the experience will be so bad from men that women will be like, well, I'm going to try women. You know what I mean? I'm going to try women. And so I kind of feel like, I'm not saying that that's what her intent was. I'm not saying that, but sometimes women will do that and they will turn women as, like, a rehab center for all of the trauma that men have given them. And then they slowly start to realize through dating women that, like, women have their fair share of problems too. You know what I mean? Like, you may not get all the same problems that you're getting from men. You're just going to get a different set of problems. And so if you all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about, like, oh, my experience with women is going to be so much better because I don't have to worry about this and this. Listen, the person that traumatized me the most to this day has been a woman. The person that has traumatized me the most, the person that has went out of their way to harass me, stalk me, try to ruin college for me, it's been a woman. You know what I mean? So I think when you have a level of optimism with changing your sexuality and then you don't yield the result that you want, I think that's where the type of content is coming from, where it feels like there's hatred behind it. It's different when you're holding women accountable. You know what I mean? I make plenty of content where I'm holding women accountable. That's different than you creating content where you could tell it's out of hate, where it's like you deserve X, Y, and Z to happen to you. You know what I mean? And it's like two things can be true. You can be a traumatized person that's making decisions out of your trauma, and those decisions are harming you, while it also being true that you acknowledging certain things should also prevent you from making said decisions. But if the person ever acknowledges the trauma and all of those things, like they're never going to make the right decision anyway. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Because I haven't watched her content in a long time. I haven't watched it in a really, really long time. But I've never sought out women. I've never sought out gaining an experience with women through my sexuality as a way to offset what men have done to me. Never. Mm-mm. Yeah, women treat women bad too, just like a man would, 1,000%. So that's why I'm like, no, I don't get me wrong. I love women, I do. I love women, but it's it really is same shit, different toilet. It's just the extent of how far things could go in a certain type of way. You know what I mean? That's how men think we're talking when we point out their faults. LOL, it's misandry. Why? It's like, no, it's just a mirror up to your behavior. Because, like, some of them will leave comments and be like, if I make a piece of comment content that's holding women accountable, people will say, like, oh, you're turning into Princella, like you hate women. And it's like, no, you can't have growth without acknowledging the things that you're doing wrong. If you're constantly in predicaments that are unfavorable to you, that's a sign that you're doing something wrong. That is a sign that there's something that needs to be corrected. A part of empowering women is to steer them in the correct direction. I just can't sit here and talk shit about men all day, because that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you if I'm not steering you in the correct direction while I'm also talking about men. There has to be a level of accountability there. Yeah. So it's like as soon as people start talking crazy, I just block them. I don't have time. I don't have time. And not to mention, like, you gotta, with content creating, it really is there's like a level internally that you have to be at. There's a level internally that you have to be at before you start creating content. And maybe Princella wasn't there before she started creating content. Maybe that's another reason too. Child, it's really hard. It is. It's really hard. I told a woman yesterday that I was celibate, and she was like, I'm not strong enough to do that. I can't do that. I'm like, once you start paying attention to what's out there, and once you start paying attention to what you're going to get in comparison to what you give, you gonna think twice about wanting to sleep with these dudes. And that's another thing too. I say all that to say that regardless of where Princella is right now in her journey, it's never going to take away from the fact that she fed a lot of knowledge. She fed a lot of knowledge to women in regards to men. So no one could ever take that away from her regardless. The landing strip. But yeah, I'm not sleeping with these dudes. I'm not sleeping with these dudes. No, thank you. A penis might make me throw up. If I see a penis, I might projectile vomit. I love me some Maya. I love me some Maya. And you could just look like her, Tracy Ellis Ross, Sana Lathan. Um, is it Regina Hall? I think Regina Hall is single. I could be wrong. I can't remember, but I thought Regina Hall was single and child free. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, um, all of them look fantastic. All of them look fantastic. All of them are living their best life. And you could say that a lot of that is attributed to the fact that they ain't got to deal with no man, they ain't got to deal with no kids. Yes, my best friend says, she says them dinglings are gross. Chow, they are. They are. They're meant to be. I didn't know that Tamala Jones was also single and child free. I did not know that. Look at that. But yeah, um, I don't want them dinglings anywhere near me. If one gets near me, I might Lorena Bobbitt it. That's how serious I am. If I see one come near me, I'm gonna turn into Lorena Bobbitt. If you don't know who Lorena Bobbitt is, please Google. Please Google. Yeah, because they don't have no man siphoning their energy. They ain't got no man siphoning their energy. Because they're good for that. Like, oh my gosh. Because I would notice that quick when I was in a relationship. I'm like, dude, where did all my energy go? I'm tired. I'm telling you, Lorena Bobbitt. And the thing about it, so when you look at the history of like women and how we were in a matriarchal society, women were hoes. Okay, women were hoes, and the reason why women were hoes was because men didn't have access to women like that. Men didn't have access to women like that. Women were calling the shots. So like sleeping with people, like sleeping with men, it actually was like a sacred thing. It was actually like a good thing for them to like pick a mate and like sleep with them. It was a good thing. Then men started getting a lot of access to women, and then the access to women wasn't enough. They started getting access to men and sleeping with men. Then that wasn't enough. And then men started getting the access they started accessing animals, and they started sleeping with animals. And then all of these diseases started popping up. All of these diseases started popping up. And then these men became impure. So that's the reason why they come up with all of these things saying like, oh, they say your value goes down when you deal with them, but their value goes up. Yeah, because they're the ones that are partaking in everything. And they know this. They know that they're the ones that are partaking in all of this nefarious action, and they know that they're dirty because they know that they're doing dirty things. So when you deal with them, automatically you become dirty by association. So men have tainted themselves so much because they've taken free reign and free access to everything. They've tainted themselves to the point where You being in proximity to men is going to taint you too. It's automatically going to taint you too. If we were in the motherland with a matriarch and they didn't have so much access and they could still stay kind of clean, then it would be different. I'm not sleeping. No. Mm-mm. Exactly. When they're saying, "Oh, well, a woman's value goes down with the more men that she sleep with," but then, but you can't be sleeping with everyone. You got to be a virgin. You can't sleep with nobody. And women like it when men are experienced. Okay, so if a woman's value goes down and she's supposed to stay pure, but your value is going to go up with having more experience, who are you getting the experience from? Who are you sleeping with? That only leaves two things that you're sleeping with: animals and men. That's it. Animals and men. Those are the only options that you have to sleep with if women are supposed to be pure and sleep with nobody. They just be telling on themselves. Someone sent me a video about like what would happen for the next like 30 years if like women had all together like just stopped giving birth. It was interesting. Pretty much everything ceased to exist. That is a very good point. Since I don't have nails on anymore, my nails are like trying to reheal themselves. And so I'm like biting the side. I need to stop. The men are the contaminant. Exactly. They're the contaminant. No thanks. No thanks. It's fine. I'll just stay far away. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, contaminate myself and then I got to go and do all these things to decontaminate myself. No thanks. I'll just stay away altogether. I will stay away altogether. But y'all, I'm going to get off of here. I promise, I promise, I promise. I'm going to be on the spiritual channel tomorrow. I just won't be on here tomorrow. So I'll only be on the spiritual channel tomorrow. Queen the Mystic. I'll only be on that one. So I'm gonna schedule the live stream for that today. That way you guys know when to like log in. And so that way you get a notification. So I'm definitely gonna live stream on there tomorrow. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget about the Patreon, the spiritual channel, the self-pleasure toys if you're into that. All of those links are in the description. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.